I've spent around 12 hours playing and beating Blacktail, a game about a young Baba. That's Baba Yaga. And I wanted to share my thoughts on the game, touching a little bit on the story, whether it's appropriate or not for the kids, and the various mechanics in the game, to help you decide whether you think this game might be worth your precious time and money, or it's a pass.
Take a good look at it. If anything bad happens, always head straight to the Red Oak. I will meet you there.
Zora? Was it you?
Blacktail starts off with Yaga, a 16-year-old girl who has recently lost her twin sister. With the help of a disembodied voice, Yaga scours the dark forest, full of unique characters. Some willing to help, and others more worried about their own problems. Through the storyline, side quests, and exploration, Yaga slowly grows her witchy capabilities, depending on the choices made throughout the game.
Whoa, it does that? I used to hate this thing.
Blacktail ended up with a PEGI rating of 12. As of the time of this recording, there is no ESRB rating, but I would guess it would probably end up around T for teen. A few curse words here and there, and I mean mature language, not magic curse words. And the combat wasn't graphic. There were a few scenes with a character who could be pretty scary for a younger audience. But all in all, I wouldn't say you had to be too mature to enjoy this game.
I always make arrows myself. This time wasn't any different. All I needed was some sticks and feathers.
Blacktail starts off with a simple tutorial introducing the core mechanic of the entire game. Crafting. Like any basic crafting game, I needed to collect materials to craft arrows and potions needed to get through. It did feel like quite a chore in the beginning because I couldn't carry a whole lot of materials or the crafted items. I was constantly crafting because I would go through the arrows so fast. It was a simple crafting screen though, slowing down time so I could tap the craft button to get a nice healthy supply of arrows if I had the given materials. As the game progressed, I would find lost pages needed to learn new skills. The pages would unlock the skill, but I still needed materials to actually learn the skill. All the skills would use basic materials to learn, as well as teeth, a more rare material found inside chests. The majority of the skills learned would be passive, doing things like adding different effects for the potions I could make or giving me deeper pockets so I can carry more. All skill advancements will take place in the hut, a magical home placed in the center of the entire map. Kind of a base of operations. In there is where all the collectibles will be placed, and where Yaga will learn the most about herself and the happenings throughout the land. The play area is big, so in order to get back to the hut in a timely manner, there will be a black cat hanging out in various areas, who can take me back to the hut whenever I talk to him. Moving around could take some time depending on where I wanted to go, so to help with movement, different totems would be unlocked throughout the story. There were totems that would warp me right into them if I shot an arrow into it, and other totems that were connected and would teleport me long distances to whatever other totem it was connected to. But even though I had totems at my disposal, there was still quite a bit of running going on. One of the main selling points of Blacktail was the morality system. You know, choices matter type of game. Right from the start, questions would be asked and choices would be given. Depending on my actions, I would gain or lose a little morality, denoted by a convenient little icon on the top right of the screen. It's not just main quests that offer morality either. In my travels, I came across a couple of bugs that needed help in their endeavors, a hungry hedgehog, and wicked flowers, all of which pushing me farther into the path I wanted to take. Morality choices would change a couple of things, like how the environment would react to me, and even how some of my skills would work. If evil, my main magic skill, would slowly suck the life out of my enemies, healing me, while on the path of goodness, it would slow enemies down and damage them. Given the differences in moralities, this game has a huge replay value, if you want to see every outcome. And on top of the morality, there were different titles that can be obtained. I won't spoil what these titles do, but they are definitely worth getting. The game is nice enough to actually tell me what I have to do to get the title, and there's a good and bad side to the titles as well, slightly changing what benefit is rewarded. The entire story of Blacktail moves through the seasons of a year, each season being a specific part of the map, like south, east, west, and north. The environments were gorgeous, looking like a forest in the middle of summer with the greenery and blossoming flowers, or autumn when the leaves started changing colors with some nice orange and brown hues. A lot of work was put into this beautiful world, and it shows. There is a main story to follow with plenty of side quests along the way. The side quests can be found by exploring the entire map and talking to everyone. And these quests are worth it not only for the rewards, but the fun stories that go along with them. Usually pulling from some old Slavic fairy tales, like the Three Little Piggies or Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Pro tip, most lost pages will be found in these side quests, so they are necessary for a well-rounded Yaga. I really enjoyed Blacktail and had a very hard time deciding what shelf to put it on. I would say my biggest problem with the game would be how it felt like so much work was put into the world and not enough into different characters. I ran into the same ones over and over again, but it kind of plays into the story, so yeah. After a few days of contemplation, weighing the pros and cons, I've decided that this game is going on Special Reserve. I beat the story after 12 hours, but only on the good choice path. There is a new game plus option, but all it does is bring over the collectibles from the previous playthrough. So I can keep going on in a new game, making different choices to see what happens and how it affects the game. I fully intend on doing that. Blacktail doesn't have it enough to warrant hundreds of hours of gameplay, but I feel like I got my money's worth. I was not disappointed. It's the kind of game I wish I had when I was younger, where I could explore every nook and cranny for hours on end, instead of trying to play it when I can after work. Well, now that we're done with that, it's time to move on to the next one. I will see you there. Bye!